To ease traffic, construction began on a new railway link between the two countries, and thus the Bevera Viaduct was born. The builders broke ground in 2010. Things were going smoothly and on schedule when tragedy struck on May 9th of 2017. Somebody must have forgotten to check the counterweight when this massive crawler crane attempted to lift one of the bridge pieces into place.
Damn! What the fuck?
If you look closely, you can see the crane operator running for his life as everything collapses around him. Somehow, he managed to jump down from the cab and escape before being crushed by thousands of pounds of metal and counterweight. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, but the crane and the bridge section were destroyed. Once the dust cleared, everyone began asking the same question. How did this happen? When the camera is zoomed out, you can see all the counterweights on the back of the crane. Unfortunately, these weren't enough to maintain balance while the arm lifted the massive piece of concrete road. The rear treads came off the ground, and gravity took over from there.
Wow.
It was August 3rd of 2015. Two large cranes had arrived via barge on the River Rhine in the southern Netherlands. The job was simple. Both cranes were there to assist in restoring the Queen Juliana Bridge, a large structure over the river that's been in place since the 1950s. Both cranes were working in tandem to lift a heavy portion of the new structure. And that's when something went horribly wrong.
Oh yeah, you know this ain't gonna be good. Oh, looks like it's lifting up. Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
The cranes destroyed several homes, a second-hand clothing store, and a small art shop. Early reports suggested that upwards of 20 people were trapped inside, but it was later revealed that only one person suffered a minor hip injury. According to a report from the Dutch Safety Board, the collapse was caused by the barges, not the cranes or the operation itself. They said the barges simply couldn't support the sheer weight of two heavy-duty cranes plus the road piece. They capsized, causing the whole thing to topple like two massive dominoes.
Boy.
All 29-year-old Nakaran Chinabut wanted was to add a small summer house onto his family's property in Khon Kaen, Thailand. So, on January 23rd of 2026, he hired a crane company to hoist a 25-square-meter prefabricated home onto his lawn. This required the crane operator to lift the small building over 50 feet into the air to avoid the nearby power lines. That's when it lost balance on the way down and became a permanent fixture inside Nakaran's house.
Oh my God.
The The worst
God
part
damn.
is that Nakarin was inside when this happened.
Oh!
He was just about to leave for work when he heard what sounded like a massive explosion outside. That's when the prefab home and the crane smashed through his roof, surrounding him in debris. By some miracle, Nakarin was unharmed and was able to escape with his dog when rescue workers opened a window. It's unclear what caused the collapse, though many blamed the operator. He should have lowered the prefab after clearing the wires. Instead, he kept it too high for too long, thus throwing off the balance.
Bruh, now, oh no. Well, first of all, I'm glad he's alright, man. He was able to get the dog too. That's what's up. But damn. All he want, damn. Now nobody has a home. Damn. These cranes, man. I don't know. Have you been drinking tonight? It is.
This next clip should serve as
That's
a
crazy.
reminder to always be aware of your surroundings. It was April 27th of 2025. A construction crew in Nanjing, China was working on the 23rd floor of a new high-rise project. Meanwhile, a 260-foot crane arm was helping them move materials up and down. A man on the ground was doom-scrolling on his phone when a loud crack suddenly rang out. He didn't know what was happening until it was too late.
Oh my god!
Right here, you can see what appears to be a wire striking the man. This gets him to peer down the alley, where he catches a glimpse of the crane truck tipping toward him. He ducks for cover at the last possible second as the crane arm obliterates a concrete pallet. When the dust settles, you can see the man emerging from a bush. He didn't know how close to death he'd come until he watched the footage later. Cell phone footage from a nearby building shows the crane truck snapped in half. The rear tires were in the air, while the middle looked like a mass of twisted metal. Hey, do yourself a favor. Remember this video the next time you're distracted by your phone.
It would have been piss, shit, and I probably would have threw up a little bit. Yeah, I could like don't they have like rules and regulations for having your phone out, especially at a construction site? Or like or an environment like that? Am I tripping? I'm not a construction. I don't know. Yeah, so you got to be vigilant when you out there, bro. Golly. God saved that boy. Because imagine, the narrator said he got hit with the wire first, and that's what got his attention. If that didn't happen, probably would not be. All because you were being distracted by your.
The port of Keelung is a major shipping hub on the northern tip of Taiwan.
I don't know what to
Thousands
say.
of tons of cargo come in and out every day. As you can imagine, all that work puts significant wear and tear on the cranes. In October of 2024, the port decided to replace a handful of its older machines. That's when one of them decided to go out with a bang. Cell phone footage taken before the crane toppled shows what happened. Apparently, it was a classic case of crane-on-crane violence.
Oh, it bumped into the other crane. Wow. Damn.
The barge carrier, Yuzhou Qihang, had just arrived with 3 new bridge cranes. It was supposed to deliver them to the port's western terminal, but wound up getting too close to one of the older onshore cranes awaiting replacement. Thankfully, nobody was hurt when the crane fell. According to reports, it fell on 5 shipping containers, 4 of which were empty. It's unclear if there was anything valuable or dangerous inside the 5th. The good news is that they were gonna get rid of the crane anyway. The bad news is that they have to do it right now. The Port of Barcelona is among the busiest passenger hubs in Europe. In fact, the city itself is like a transport hub across the continent. From there, you can basically take a plane or a high-speed train wherever you want to go. On Halloween morning of 2018, an Italian ferry loaded with cars and passengers attempted to dock during a storm. However, the rough water caused the vessel to veer
Oh
off
my
course,
God.
putting it on a direct collision course with an onshore loading crane.
Yeah, you see dude running? Get up out of there. Yeah, that was like a cruise ship. Hold on. Hang on.
The city itself is like a transport hub across the continent. From there, you can basically take a plane or a high-speed train wherever you want to go. On Halloween morning of 2018, an Italian ferry loaded with cars and passengers attempted to dock during a storm.
Oh, that was a ferry. Well, y'all navigators suck.
2018, an Italian ferry loaded with cars and passengers attempted to dock during a storm. However, the rough water caused the vessel to veer off course,
Okay, never
putting it
mind.
on a direct collision
I'm sorry. It wasn't y'all fault.
course with an onshore loading crane. Toward the end of the clip, you can see a small fire starting where the crane landed. A thick cloud of black smoke begins rising. Meanwhile, the ferry starts backing away, as if trying not to draw any more attention to itself. According to reports, the crane was carrying several containers full of flammable materials.
Ooh.
The impact ignited those materials, eventually leading to a massive fire that nearly engulfed the entire dock.
Oh. Damn.
It took a local fire department several hours to put out the fire. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, and the ferry
That's a good
itself
thing.
didn't suffer any catastrophic damage. The cherry on top is the fact that the ferry's name was excellent. We believe the word they were looking for was horrible. In 1996, work began on a new baseball stadium for the Milwaukee Brewers. The main attraction was supposed to be the retractable roof, but during construction, a different piece of shiny metal stole the show. The Big Blue crane could be seen from across the city as it worked to build the stadium roof in the summer of 1999. The name obviously came from its bright blue color and the fact that it towered over everything else in sight. However, the bigger they are, the harder
they fall.
What the hell is it? What's going on here? Okay, watch it, watch it! Shit!
Ooh.
Shit! Shit! I got it on. Shit!
3 iron workers were directing the crane as it lifted the 400-ton right field roof panel into place. That's when the wind picked up and the crane buckled over, landing on the 3 men. Their grieving widows were later awarded $99 million in damages. An OSHA investigation determined that Big Blue was outside of the design specifications required for both load and wind. Weather reports showed gusts of 26 miles per hour on the day of the accident. Many of the workers felt it was too dangerous. However, the higher-ups decided that the work would continue as planned. Instead, the accident set them back significantly, as the falling crane and roof section caused about $100 million in damage to the under-construction stadium. Today, you'll find a bronze sculpture called Teamwork outside of the stadium that was built to honor the victims of the Big Blue accident.
Damn, rest in peace, man. That sucks.
It was 8 a.m. in Shanghai, China. Morning rush hour was in full swing, and every commuter train in the city was packed to the gills. Metro Line 11 was chugging along when, out of nowhere, a bridge crane broke and fell onto the tracks. This driver's dashcam happened to be recording in the right place at the right time.
Hey, y'all with these cranes, man. Oh! Oh!
According to reports, there were over 1,800 passengers on the train when it collided with the fallen crane. It was going 62 miles per hour when it crashed, and that was after the conductor tried his best to hit the brakes. Passengers were stranded in pools of broken glass for over an hour as rescue workers raced to the scene. It didn't help that the accident occurred in mid-December and that the impact triggered a power outage on the now freezing train. Thankfully, they were all evacuated, and it didn't appear that anyone was injured. From there, the damaged train was able to travel to the station, which was only 650 feet away when the accident occurred. In response to the damage, Shanghai transportation authorities opened 5 emergency bus routes to help people get to and from work. Based on available information, it's unclear what caused the crane to fail in the first place. The A-4 Skyhawk is a Cold War-era single-seat attack plane designed by American aerospace manufacturer Douglas Aircraft Company. For the longest time, you could always find one mounted on a pedestal outside the main gate at Alameda Point in California. Then, in 2008, a severe storm knocked it off its perch, damaging the plane. Once it was restored to airworthy form, they were ready to place the Skyhawk back in its rightful place. A crowd gathered, then watched in horror as their beloved plane went down. From what we could gather, the collapse occurred because the crane's outriggers were set up in soft grass. Apparently, heavy sprinkler use had weakened the soil, causing the outriggers to sink deep into the ground and throw everything off. Unfortunately, the accident caused more damage than the 2008 storm. Feeling horrible, the crane company agreed to pay for repairs, and the Skyhawk was finally fixed and reattached to its pedestal, where you can still find it today. The port of Kaohsiung is a major trade hub in southern Taiwan. It's also the largest harbor, handling over 10 million 20-foot equivalent units each year. High traffic through the harbor means port authorities need to run an incredibly tight ship, no pun intended. One mistake can literally have global consequences. For example, take this blunder from June of 2021, when a berthing vessel destroyed one crane and damaged another.
Yep, there it goes.
To make matters worse, a crane operator was inside the cab when the whole thing collapsed. By some miracle, he escaped the wreck with only a small cut on his arm. 2 maintenance workers were also trapped, but were rescued shortly after. Know that this footage isn't showing the dock itself. Instead, all this carnage happened on board a much larger cargo ship. Between 30 and 50 containers were damaged, though it's unclear whether anything hazardous was inside. According to Taiwan International Ports, the original construction cost of the 2 affected cranes was roughly $21.6 million. It's unclear what it would cost to fix them now. Surat, India is a massive city of 7 million people in the western state of Gujarat. In the summer of 2024, a large-scale metro project was underway to help alleviate traffic in the city. Unfortunately, a tiny miscalculation made things about 10 times worse. According to local reports, a crew was using 2 cranes to hoist an under-construction metro pillar into place. The cranes failed one after the other, causing everything to come crashing down. The long arm you see in the footage smashed through a bungalow and damaged 3 parked cars. Thankfully, no one was hurt on the ground, and the crane operator suffered only a few minor injuries. It was starting to feel like the project was cursed to fail, as this was the second major setback in 30 days.
Damn!
A month prior, another concrete section developed several cracks and began to tilt to one side. Yancheng, China is a prefecture-level city in the coastal province of Jiangsu. It's home to roughly 6.7 million people, many of whom remember the Great Crane disaster of 2017. It was March 1st. Powerful winds had been ravaging the city for several hours. Meanwhile, a tall crane doing work on a high-rise rooftop was beginning to wobble. It was only a matter of time before gravity took care of the rest.
Uh-oh.
我当时是为堵的路。
啊，塔吊断了。
塔吊断掉，你看到没？支架断掉了，你看到了？
哦，看到了，看到了。我，哎呀哎呀，我操！哎呀我。 แล้วก็หลังเธอแล้ว
mất rồi mất rồi
ยืนกันนะโอ้นี่มา
mất tám min
Oh shit.
马达米又死人家了。
Sadly, 2 people lost their lives, and
Damn.
22 others were injured when the crane fell. It's unclear if those who perished were inside the cabin or if they were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. The storm obviously caused the crane to collapse. What's unclear is whether the construction company made its employees work in dangerous conditions. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more just like it, be sure to
Damn.
click the link on screen now. With that,
Y'all be safe out there on them cranes, man.